Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chicagoland Speedway for the Boss Baby Cal 120. Tonight, the Midwest Elite Racing Stamm Studio Network Truck Series takes on this mile-and-a-half oval for 80 laps of hard racing. Strategy is already at the headline with that 50% fuel tank, as well as stage break at around lap 32, as well as only 3 tire sets really to work with. Welcome in, everybody, at Sean Stamm. How's it all going? I hope you are all doing well, joining us for one of my most favorite, if not my most favorite track out here on the Sim, Chicagoland Speedway. Before we cut to virtual trackside action, we got to take a look to the point standings. Stoney Benfield still leads us out there in the lead with the point standings, but Mauricio Marquez Ramos, TJ Zachary, Josh Murphy, Charles Widener, hey, even Scott Patton with their immaculate race results at the Just Fish In 70 from Bristol just last weekend. Charles and Scott rocketing their way up and through the point standings. Michael Ritz, Jensen Case, Neil Lapidus, Nathaniel Mendoza, as well as Tyler Price. That is a four-way, count them, four-way tie for P8. As we do cut live to virtual trackside action here tonight, this is going to be a really fun race. Grab your popcorn because you are not going to want to leave your seat. Make sure that you might have a drink of choice out there as well, because we'll take a look at some race info. Already mentioned, it is a mile-and-a-half, but not really a cookie cutter necessarily. We have so many different lines available for these drivers to work with here tonight. It's going to be so much fun to watch. Also, something to keep an eye on, that the side drafts out there, I felt that big time when our practice session earlier on today, as well as taking the air away from the nose of the driver running right there behind you. That's going to shoot them up the racetrack. We're going to see that a lot out here tonight, especially with hopefully some longer runs with only 3 tire sets available. Before we cut to throwing the green flag, we got to meet our drivers and see where they're starting here tonight. Mentioned Charlie Widener's really nice result last week at Bristol Motor Speedway. How about Charlie Widener? He's in from Highline Racing, slapped it on the pole with a 30.735. Tim Blankenbeckler, he was flying out there in practice session earlier. He's going to start out P2. TJ Zachary out of Animal Racing also looks like he's locked and loaded, ready to go from that session earlier. Stoney Benfield, he'll start P4. Ricardo Keno out of Argentina. Hola, Ricardo. Best of luck to you here tonight. Best of luck to all the drivers. Bobby Blair, unsponsored, looking for a sponsor. He will start this race P6. It's Tyler Price, Neil Lapidus, Michael Ritz, Heath Smith, Terry Mellum, and Sean Abel, the top 12. Appreciate Terry Mellum and Midwest Mafia coming out here on board and sponsoring this Boss Baby Cal 120 out here from Chicagoland. We'll get into that in a few moments' time. Also, to complete our starting grid, it's a 19-driver grid. Josh Murphy, Daniel Higgins, Jensen Case, Frank Ranger Jr., Mike Melfelt, Craig Schmidt, Zach Monday, and James Klaus. Rounding out, that means 20. All right, let us know who you are rooting on down there in YouTube land below, and you can see up in the top right, it was the Boss Baby Cal 120. Appreciate Terry Mellum, and once again, everybody out there in Midwest Mafia for coming on board and sponsoring this race out here tonight. Terry runs in that High Rock Vodka number 23 paint scheme. It'll be fun to watch him work his way out through the pack. Callum, it's their first grandson, and he turns 1 year old next month. So, hey, let's hear it down for Callum, baby Cal, down there in YouTube land below. Early birthday there for a #1 race fan, as well as probably somebody's going to come up here through this truck series and kick all of our butts one day. Also, Laura, I really appreciate you, and I'm so very glad that you are entertained by these broadcasts here, bring you here on Stamm Studio Network. Everybody, I want you to do something special here for me. I want you to get up, stand up for your life. It's time to you never want to give up the fight here for this Boss Baby Cal 120 from Chicagoland. We are green flag racing in this Midwest Elite Racing Stamm Studio Network Truck Series. Charlie Widener leads them down there going into 1. Here comes Tim Blankenbeckler and his black and purple Tim's Tiny Boat Machine. He's working that outside line. TJ Zachary looks down below. Keep an eye here going into turn 3 for the first time. Tire temps, tire pressures, not quite where you'd want them as a driver. You might have to live here. There you see some flames flying out the exhaust pipe. Oh, Terry Mellum gets tagged. He saves it. What a cat-like reflexes for Terry Mellum to keep that moving, grooving. Oh, does Frank Ranger save it? So does he. We're going to keep things moving, grooving, heading back into turn one. Charlie Wider's going to stretch his legs out and up front. Right now it's TJ Zachary and Tim Blankenbeckler still going at it for P2 and 3, not able to clear each other out and off the corner. It's Tim Blankenbeckler with a run and a half going way up the racetrack. Careful with that, though. You're going to burn off those right side tires sooner than I could say door quarter clear. It's also some nice side-by-side there between Bobby Blair, Mike Melfield. Mike's going to dive it down the inside line. Keep an eye on the 155 Toyota Tundra Federated Auto Parts machine. He has already worked his way 11 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. There's Neil Lapita starting to join this battle up and in the top 7. That 26 OSOK Stamm Studio Network Ford F-150 is trying to bring Ricardo Cano up right up in with him. That'll be top 8 positions, running just within 0.2 of a second of one another. Ricardo Cano is going to shut that door over Michael Ritz's air off the front nose of his bright red Chevrolet Silverado. They'll wash up the track going back up into turn one. Ricardo Cano is -3 spots right now, but could possibly have a little bit more longer run philosophy behind the wheel of that number 25 machine. Charlie Widener, 1.1 seconds going back and into turn 3. Tim Blankenbeckler, he'll solidify P2. TJ's now working P3, but that's going to start to play some defense right here over hard charging Stony Binfield, who we're hopping on board with now. Now, as we do continue to crest our way up and throughout the season, I would really keep your eye on the points. He's way up there in the points is Stony Binfield. It seems like just every other race we're chatting with that number 97. Although right there, you saw it at turn 2, he got loose as a goose as Bobby Blair started to take a look down into the inside. Right now, if you're Bobby Blair and on back, the air is so dirty. Look, you see Bobby Blair, that purple and bright pink Fanatec machine washed way up the track out of turn 4. Bobby Blair, he had a run going into turns 3 and 4, but his air was taken away from him. All of that front downforce as well as front side force was just lost. You have no grip out there. He's going to do it again. He barely hangs on to it. This time coming out of turn 2. Bobby Blair somehow lives to fight another day, or at least another lap. You hear him get way out of the throttle pedal. Opening laps of the race, we were pinning the throttle pedal around. Bobby Blair having to lift with that little bit of loss of air, front downforce as well as side force as well. Neil Lapita is going to start a little bit to put some front pressure on the back of Bobby Blair's rear bumper. Whoa, that got tight coming out of turn 2. Neil's going to try to hit up a switchback here coming into turn 3 and 4. There's Mike Milfield starting to get his popcorn bucket out as he has that nice battle side by side up and in front of him. Ricardo still sitting P8, trying to get those positions back that he lost earlier at the start of the race, but I really don't hate that for Ricardo. Matter of fact, talking about some drivers that put down some practice earlier on in the race, earlier on today, I hopped out on board with, I was hopped out on the track here with quite a few of our drivers. Ricardo Cano putting down, if not the most amount of laps within that practice session, continuing to improve within his long run speed, his long run pace, as well as that racecraft as well. Ricardo has already got some very nice racecraft, but right now keeping it moving, grooving, and that's up towards the front of the pack. Charlie Widener still running up away with about a second of a race lead. Tim Blankenbeckler still sits P2. TJ Zachary is up there P3. Remember, talked about his practice runs earlier on. Right now, he's starting to lose a little bit of grip in his Chevrolet Silverado, trying to chase down 2 Tundras. Golly, Jensen Case P3 from last week in the Just Fishing 70 Well, it's the Baby Cal 120er tonight, and he is working his way through it. Man, he's got Daniel Higgins right there with him, Terry Millum up in front of him. Terry with the magnificent save out there earlier on and in the race. I'm going to try to bring up a quick replay of that. Laura, I see you down there in YouTube land. Thank you so much. That's oh, that means the world to me there. That's somebody's up there enjoying it, the broadcast as much. I can't really do that, Alex, without the very nice words like that. I apologize here. I think this is where, yeah, this is that contact. Unfortunately, Daniel Higgins into that left rear corner there for excuse me, the 23 of Terry Mellon. But golly, I don't know how he hung on to that. I think we can hop on board and we can maybe see just how he saved it. If I'd find it in time. God dang it. They're all. I apologize. Well, at least we saw the slow-mo replay there of Terry. Nice job to hang on. We'll jump back out here to live racing action because P2 and P3 are still heating up within 0.2 of a second. Here comes TJ Zachary. Knocking. And look at this battle between 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Really washing their way up the racetrack. They're starting to run pretty much that 3rd and 4th lane. You want to be very, very careful, kind of want to avoid those seams that you see, the 3 and 4 seams you see on the racetrack, but those do kind of dictate the different lines that you are able to run. You can kind of set up your left side tires on them and right side tires on them going into the corner, but if you cross one of those seams when you're already going through the apex, it's pretty much going to be game over as far as your speed and momentum was concerned going out throughout wherever you're exiting either 2 or 4. Neil Lapidus has a nice run down into the inside line. Does he take it, or does he take his kids out to Monster Jam? No, I'm all seriousness though. Neil, that was so cool to see out there on the Facebook, and that's pretty much, I really do think where my love for motorsports really did start is out there in Monster Jam. Neil Lapidus taking the kids out to one of the best motorsports shows to take some youngins out there too. And Neil's also one spot to the good in his Ford F-150 OSOK Lime Green Stamm Studio Network MER machine. Ricardo Lucano is still hanging out there, P8. He's still got about that 0.3 of a second gap between him and Neil. Then there's Michael Ritz, Sean Abel, and Daniel Higgins all running 9th, 10th, 11th. Hey, how about Jensen Casey still up in this battle? Can't out there. Terry Mellum running into 23, still sitting 13th. Oh, no! Terry's going to get the Sean and Tater curse. Flirts with that outside wall. Sparks flying at that right rear quarter panel. You got to be very, very careful with that right rear. These trucks so aerodynamically sensitive. Not maybe as much as the Xfinity cars, but it looks like Terry's going to keep up that pace. I don't think that hurt him necessarily too much as far as speed or cosmetic damage goes. Looks like Terry, he just went down a 30, excuse me, his best lap was a 31. That one was a 32. So we'll check on his pace up here in a couple laps and see if that did warrant any damage. Back looking up here between P2, it's Blankenbeckler versus Zachary. Almost contact between the two, but hey, it's Midwest Elite Racing. You're gonna see that ethical wheel here, up and down and through the pack. Blankenbeckler still continuing to hold off TJ Zachary, but with the French for Pet stage break in only 26 laps, as well as that fuel tank going to run dry way before that, probably 10 laps before it. Yep, we're going to have to start to worrying about strategy here just a little bit, as well as how hard do you start to push. I mean, look at this battle. It's still 1/10 between each and one of 4 different drivers. Who's that down into the inside? It's the one, it's the only, Mike Milfield, who started this race. Biggest driver gain. He's still our biggest driver gain here by quite a few positions, but his march to the front has kind of stalled out. Mike Milfield, he's keeping it down into the inside. You've noticed right now everybody has kind of kept it off of that inside line, trying to wrap the apron. There's no more, that's how much grip has pretty much gone within these Goodyear Racing tires. Oh, Neil Lapidus, he goes and flirts with the outside wall up there. A little scrape, never hurt nobody. Holding on, that's going to get tight out of turn number 4. It's the 97, Stoney Benfield. I believe he finished Bristol their P6 last week, if my memory serves me correct. Let's see if the notes are correct here on if Stoney Benfield. Yeah, definitely Stoney Benfield is our points leader coming into the race, and he's still sitting right now P7, but we're pretty much But right now, working within this kind of this first tire sets, where you're really starting to get a nice run and feel for your trucks. Stoney is almost looking 3 wide. He's going to try and slip down to the inside of the field. Not quite get there. Not quite cut down that, not really dog leg, but out of the exit of turn 4. He can definitely cut down the track and cut below that white apron line. But it's a little bit of risk versus reward. It is also going to burn out those right side tires as well. Tim Blankenbeckler, TJ Zachary still duking it. Excuse me, this is going to be TJ Zachary and Bobby Blair. Bobby Blair, we know that he knows how to do what they say can't be done, and that is work that later run speed within to these, I was going to say ARCA Menards machines that we saw from last season out of Bobby Blair. Bobby, what a season it was, and he's really had a nice start to this season as well, as we'll have a caution on the racetrack. Oh, don't tell me it's the man. Oh, it's Sean Abel who has gone around right in front of the cardboard cutout fans. This will be our first caution out here tonight for the Boss Baby Cal 120. Looks like he'll get that thing righted back in the right way, and that kind of Justin Allgaier paint scheme out of Brooksville, Florida. Let's see what happened to Sean going here into, oh my, contact and a half. Holy guacatules. Him and Heath Smith going at, or excuse me, not really going at it. I'll take that back. But there was definitely, God, the room ran out quick, I will say. My God, look at Heath, like just, he kind of shot up the racetrack, and then Sean Abel kind of came down a little bit. We'll have to take another angle. Yeah, I mean, the speed difference is crazy right there. We might have to hit up that forklift and really see when and how kind of Sean got so kind of, was it loose going into the court? Okay, this will tell us a lot here. He's already kind of moving down onto that back stretch. Then here's going to be the bird's eye view, kind of our blimp camera shot at it, going way up the racetrack. That truck is not turning the way that Sean wants it to. And then that's a speed difference and a half right there between the two. We'll have to hop on board with Heath and see what he saw, because we'll have to get back to live pacing action, because we'll have to see what drivers try to do something here with this very timely caution. All right, it's Charlie Widener who leads him down and into pit lane, followed by Tim Blankenbeckler, TJ Zachary, Bobby Blair, Mike Milfilt, Neil Lapidus. Okay, better yet, it's the whole field. The whole field coming down there into the pits. Charlie should win this race off of pit lane. It's all depending on, that's some very nice stops out there throughout the whole field. I didn't see anybody slide through their box. I did see quite a few fuel-only stops. Looks like Charlie Widener is one of them. So is the Federated Auto Parts machine, as well as the 33 of TJ Zachary, Bobby Blair as well. So that's a lot of fuel pit stops. Those trucks, excuse me, that you do see kind of the air jacks lifting their left and right side tires up, excuse me, sides up. Those are the drivers who are taking tires under this caution. So this really opens up the strategy here for our Fritz for Pet stage breakouts here on lap 32, because these leaders who did not take tires this time by, they're most definitely going to have to take them next pit stop. And the drivers who did just take tires, they're most likely not going to take them next pit stop, and that will put everybody kind of down one set so far. We appreciate, once again, Terry Mellum as well as Laura out there in YouTube land for, well, Laura's out in YouTube land. Terry's out here racing on the racetrack. We appreciate them for coming on board and sponsoring this race out here. It's the Boss Baby Cal 120. And if you're just now joining us, that Callum is their first grandson, and he turns just 1 year old next month. So, hey, he's already a big race fan, and you know what that means. He's going to hop out here into iRacing here in probably the next 2, 3, 4 years and start kicking all of our butts. But in all seriousness, though, thank you so much. It means the world to me there when I get comments like that from you, Laura. So that's really what keeps me going back there and behind the scenes. Charlie Widener, we're going to get him re-racked and restacked. Here's a quick race recap so far. We've only have one caution. We're 24 laps down out of 80. That might, excuse me, we did just get them all re-racked, restacked, as well as filled up on fuel, but the difference out there is within tire sets. That's what's going to make you or break your strategy here in about 12 laps time. 12 laps within this stage, there is definitely enough time for these drivers who did take tires. I believe drivers who took tires would be Tim Blankenbeckler, Neil Lapidus, Ricardo Cano, Daniel Higgins, Josh Murphy, and on back. there's still time out here within this stage break to get up here right back up within the pack. Side by side by side through the pack. Barney's got the green flag in his hand. Ladies and gents, you're watching here live on Stamm Studio Network. Stamm Studio Truck Series go in at it. Charlie Whiter's got a nice restart going back up into turn one. Right now, the battle's there between second and third. TJ Zachary, Mike Milfelt, and then they're side by side. Look at Tim Blankenbeckler already making those new Goodyear tires roll, at least on that middle side. It'll be side by side there between Tim and that's number 75. Excuse me, not 75. That's the purple one up in front of them. That's side by side between Tim and our points leader, Stony Binfield. Looks like Tim's going to be able to make that inside line roll down around into the inside. He'll clear him out there out of the exit of 4. Charlie Widener leads our opening lap here as we're back to racing with only, 17 laps to go. Not sure what I was talking about, 12. 17 laps to go in the stage. Now we're starting to get here to the good stuff. The argy-bargy, if you will, the nitty and the gritty. Tim Blankenbeckler still looking down the inside. Going to have to be careful here in the corner entrance. Now look at Jensen Case. He gives him way lots of room out there. Oh, look at Neil. He's going to shoot the middle down into the inside. Does Neil make it happen? There's battles all over the racetrack going into turn one. Looks like Sean Abel was able to stay on the lead lap. That number 40 still continues to run P19. It'll be 3 wide out of the exit of turn number 2 down our Brant straightaway. It's 4 wide going into turn 3. Who lifts? Who gives way? Look at Neil go. He jams the gas pedal down. Neil Lapidus, door corner clear. He's put it all that back then there behind him after the number 2. He gets loose. What a race move out there for Neil in his number 26. He's going to continue to keep those newer Goodyear tires moving, grooving, up and into the front. Ricardo Cano, he's also in a battle out there between Zach Monday as well as Josh Murphy. Looks like Josh Murphy's able to clear him up there. Josh will slot up into P13. There comes Daniel Higgins. That looks close out there in timing and scoring. There may have been contact going into the corner, not for Daniel, but on the receiving end. There is contact there. What is the caution? It'll be Zach Monday who goes around. Tyler Price, he's slow, but he looks to be able to get through it A-OK. Frank Ranger Jr. is also, looks like he's slowed his pace down, but I don't see really any damage on that Ranger Creative Concepts Chevy Silverado. I think Zach Monday may have got the worst in it in his twitch.tv/Patriot Maverick 3. If you're watching right now and if you want another driver kind of perspective to watch with here, make sure you hit up Zach's Twitch channel. I'm sure I know he's live right now. Oh man, contact and a half. Zach gets turned. I don't know how Tyler Price didn't show more damage than what he had. Oh, the right side is killed on that Caterpillar machine. Take another look at it here, and here it comes out of the corner. Then this is really going to set up a different whole strategy call with what you have to throw that all out the window is with what I was talking about right before we went back to racing there. Contact between the 3 and the 69 coming out of turn number 4. We will take one more look. Excuse me. That was a horrible camera shot. I really apologize there. We'll take one more look at it here because we have to see who is coming off of pit lane right now. It just got 3 wide, tight off the corner there. Back up here to live pacing action. There's Charlie Widener. He doesn't win the race off pit road. Terry Mellum does. Charlie Widener P2, Bobby Blair P3, TJ Zachary, Ricardo Cano, Jensen Case, Daniel Higgins, Mike Milfelt, Heath Smith, Sean Abel, Tyler Price. So this is an interesting strategy call here because I guess I too take some of that back because we saw Tim Blankenbeckler, Neil Lapidus, I believe Craig Schmidt as well. They were all drivers who did take tires on that caution last time, but I did see some drivers right back into pit lane. You wouldn't think that they would have wasted just another set just like that. Maybe they're just coming in for a quick splash and or dash, try to get them maybe just a little bit longer into the race. Matter of fact, this changes everything. Here comes Neil Lapidus. He's going to come down in pit. Tim Blankenbeckler stays out. So pretty much every single driver, I think, except 4. Tim Blankenbeckler has now pit this under these kind of conditions right here. Here comes Neil down and around. We'll have to see what kind of pit stop he makes. No rights or lefts going up on that Team OSOK in the wild Ford F-150. It's going to be a quick splash and dash. I think that these drivers just trying to get a little bit more fuel out of their Stamm Studio Network trucks after we do have that the stage break in just a couple laps time. Craig Schmidt, Zach Monday, Stoney Benfield, Josh Murphy, Frank Ranger Jr., pretty much every single driver out there except for the number 4 of Tim's Tiny Boat Adventures Toyota Tundra machine. All right, we got a quick moment. We'll check down there in YouTube land. What's rocking and rolling? We still got Terry out there joining us. So is Robert Anderson. Robbie, man, hopefully, what was I going to say? Fast repairs, actually not fast repairs, god dang it. Hoping for a speedy recovery out there for you, Robert. But that's cool to see you out here rooting on the team. We also got Ted and Laura out there joining in YouTube land. Thank you all so much. Before we get back live into racing action out here, excuse me. We got to thank those sponsors and affiliates as well as YouTube members. So the sponsors and affiliates up there in the top right of the screen. YouTube members have been scrolling across the bottom. Admin Box, if you're looking for some hardware to keep your sim racing just a little bit more easier, especially if you do some league kind of ownership stuff out here like Neil does, there's a lot of different kind of shortcuts that you can set one of those admin box to. They're pretty helpful. I got kind of an admin box. It's something just like it. It's the Boss Baby Cal 120. Once again, Terry and Midwest Mafia, we appreciate you coming on board here with us this race. DL Designs, if you're looking to get any sort of iRacing paint done, make sure you hit up Daniel Selway Jr. His work is just, it's pretty hard to be beat, as well as you can hit up, you can search up his Instagram as well. Great tool there. Midwest Elite Racing, you're watching the MER Stamm Studio Network Truck Series at you live here from Chicagoland. Also, Frets for Pets. I believe that is a non-profit organization. Also, Frets for Pets coming on board and sponsoring, I believe it's the whole season of Stage Break Yellows. And speaking of the Frets for Pets Stage Break, that will be up here in just... not sure what, well, it'll be within the next 10 laps. Also, Frank Ranger Jr., Ranger Creative Concepts, if you're looking for, t-shirts, trophies, plaques, you name it, make sure you hit up Frank Ranger Jr. up there on Facebook land. This looks like he'll come in for, and fill up his truck, get it gulping on some Sunoco race fuel before we do get ruined back into racing action. So very interestingly timed caution there. It's Tim Blankenbeck there, Terry Bellum, Charlie Widener, Jensen Case, Ricardo Keno. That's the top 5. Ricardo Keno is running he'll start P4. So that'll be 1 spot to the good from where he started this race. Daniel Higgins right there behind him. Daniel, I believe, will start P6 since he's on the outside row. That number 1, HendrickCars.com. Apex Motorsports, I believe, is on the tail. Daniel, he's out here rolling 8 spots gained since the original green flag dropped. Mike Milfelds, he's been a fun driver to watch slice and dice, work his way towards the front. Mike, he's kind of been caught up within this strategy call, though. He's going to start here P7. Sean Abel will restart P8. Neil Lapidus start P9, and Tyler Price restarting P10. And are we gonna make this the stage break? We might actually be making this the stage break out here with the stage break being on lap 32. So we will. That'll be a quick stage break. Going to get them re-racked and restacked. Welcome in here to the Frets for Pets. It's a quick one. Stage break. We'll be right back here to race, and I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Thanks, everybody. All right, welcome back in from the a little bit late, but it is the Fretz for Bet stage break. We are now ready to rock and or roll with those safety lights out on our iRacing safety pace truck. Tim Blankenbeckler, careful here. If you give that clean air to the driver of the number 4 Tim's Tiny Boat Adventures, he might run away with this out up front. But remember, he's a little bit, he's kind of screwed there with all due respect there on the tire and fuel strategy. Unfortunately, Tim was the leading driver at the moment that all sort of ensued. So Tim he couldn't mic it down and into pit lane after everybody else already did. Backing out to green flag racing though, Tim's leading them down going into turn 1. It's Charlie Widener, Terry Millam, Jensen Case. That's the battles for second, third, and fourth. Here comes Mike Milfeld. Remember, I said that he has some nice speed in that number 155. He's going to try to look down the inside. Nope, switch it back around the outside. Put plaster cleaner air all over that front nose. Really, from what I have seen out here, is as long as you're able to get at least one headlight clear, that's all the side and front downforce that you need to make a move. Tim Blankenbeckler, his older Goodyear tires, not putting up any battle out there between Charlie Widener. Charlie back out to where he started this race out up front. It's now, slipping and sliding up there between Daniel Higgins and Tim Blankenbeckler. Mike Milfeld, he rockets his way up to P2. Here comes Jensen Case up to P3, and then we're going to look side by side between Daniel Higgins and Tim Blankenbeckler. Tim continuing to fall, sing it Bob Seger like a rock. Also, Ricardo Cano is right up in there beside him, and then we're getting into the good stuff here. Bobby Blair, Tyler Price, Michael Ritz, they're going side by side. Their sparks are continuing to fly at the rear end. Who is that? That's the number 40, I believe it is, of Sean Abel. Sean Abel, he's going to rock it down into the inside line, trying to play some defense. Defense, here we go into turn 3. This is going to get tight. Neil, he's going to wash up the racetrack, but keeps it off of that number 69 of Tyler Price. Side by side for 3 rows deep. Neil comes down on that number 33 of TJ Zachary. He gets the slipstream. He gets the side draft, rocking it down there going into turn 1. TJ almost contact with Josh Murphy and his Speed Motorsports number 88 Chevrolet Silverado. Here comes the exit of turn number 2, and here comes the number 97 of Stoney Binfield. He's getting a nice run way up the racetrack. Neil Lapidus, he keeps his foot in the throttle. He clears them both off turn number 2. Sean Abel almost contact. He keeps it moving and somehow keeps it straight. Here comes the number 3 as well of Zach Monday. That was a huge battle out there going into the race. I'm showing, oh God. I'm showing only 4 more laps to go within our first stage, but I think the graphic is a little wonky up there in the top left after we did already have our stage break. So we should be racing to the good right now, I do believe. It's Mike Milfeld, Jensen Case, Terry Millam, Daniel Higgins, all trying to reel in right now that race lead of Charlie Widener. You can't give Charlie too much of a gap. Remember, he started to run away with it about 1 second up and into the race lead. Next closest battle, Michael Ritz, TJ Zachary. This battle that we were watching up there from our blimp camera shots, it's still, I mean, it's a blanket. All within the same camera shot, battles between 0.2 of a second for each driver. Josh Murphy, he's able to get at least 2 spots gained since the original drop of the green. Could he get 1 more here after trying to look down the outside going into 1 and 2? Let's see if he tries to set up the switchback and catch Neil Lacken. Right now, Josh Murphy's dialing up Neil. Neil, are you home? Will you leave the door open? Looks like Neil is home. He will leave the door wide open. Here comes Josh Murphy down into the inside, not able to clear Neil out of the exit of 2. Down and in 3 and 4, runs are even between the 2. Runs were even. Here comes Josh Murphy, dives it hard down into the entrance and the exit. Josh Murphy, he'll clear him up down there, and that'll be for P10. So that's 3 spots gained now for Josh. Not quite done is Neil. He's going to try to dive it back into the inside. He's going to kill the right front there, being in that dirtier air up and up front in Josh and up in front of him. Looking out in front of Josh's rear view bumper. Here comes Neil. Will he try to slot it back into the inside line? No, he's going to shoot it up the racetrack. I don't hate that though. Neil's getting all the clean air all over that round of number 26. Almost contact with Josh Murphy in the outside wall as TJ Zachary Michael Ritz, Stony Benfield all start to join this battle as well. There's 38 laps to go in the race. Time will fly when you're having fun. Still side by side between the two. We're going to have to go up here to this battle for the race lead because it's starting to heat up and broil. It's Charlie Widener still 0.3 of a second, but Mike Milfelt is closing that gap down between tenths of a second each lap. Jensen Case, our P3 podium finisher from last week at Bristol Motor Speedway. Jensen Case has worked his way up and into that final driver interview position. It'll be two drivers side by side, but not near either one another. Terry Millam, his late race pace is starting to really shine right now as Daniel Higgins tries to run the inside line. It's going to be hard to fight off that momentum of the number 23. They're still keeping it off of each other's side. No side drafts going up here between the two. They know how detrimental clean air is between them, as well as they're just going to continue to lose time if they do continue to battle some side by side. They're trying to keep it as far away from each other as they possibly can. Terry Millam puts his foot right back up in the gas though. Who gives way? Who finally just says, all right, you can go here? Neither of the two, Terry Millam, Daniel Higgins, door to door by about 2 truck widths between them. Now Daniel Higgins is going to wash up the racetrack there. You can see his right rear tire is really starting to give way in that number 1 Hendrick.com cars machine. It's a huge battle that they're in behind them as well, as it looks like Terry Millam will finally take away that position, and that position will be for P4 over Daniel Higgins. Ricardo Cano, he's right now trying to hold off Josh Murphy. Here comes Tim Blankenbeckler. This is getting good. Still 2 and 3 wide, back around 8, 9, 10. Position back. Whoa, Josh Murphy, look at his hands go to workouts here. No, wait, we got to take a better camera shot. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh no, this one, watch his hands. Well, they did go to work after he somehow kept that number 88 off of TJ Zachary. Here we're hopping on board here with Tim Blankenbeckler, so rear bumper of TJ, as well as Neil Lapidus down into the inside. 2 teammates going at it back there into the exit of 2. Neil way off the throttle pedal to allow that truck to turn and keep that right rear off of Tim's left front. Michael Ritz, he's joining this battle. He's going to work that outside line, keep it moving, keep that momentum up. That's what I like to see. 27 is now clear. We're going to start to see some tire wear start to make a difference. Charlie Widener, Mike Milfelt, P1, P2. Lap time difference between the two. It's, excuse me, wrong graphic. Lap time difference between the two. It's really, God, where is it? Here it is, excuse me, there. Lap 45, it's almost dang near tied. 1/1000th of a second separating Charlie and Mike. Mike kind of maybe got a little bit tight there on lap 46, but lap 47, look, gained it all back and then some. If we look at Mike Milfelt and Jensen Case's last lap times, back and forth, cat and mouse, between the two. Jensen Case, he's worked his way all the way up to P3, stalking, creeping out the dungeon in that Alp number 75 Chevrolet Silverado. He's getting closer and closer to that rear bumper of P2. Mike Milfelt right up and in front of him. Could Jensen Case, be flirting with disaster? He got way deep and into the corner. Sparks flying out of that rear end of the number 75. Jensen keeps his foot in it, keeps his hand turning it. Keeps cranking it to the left. Jensen Case, final driver interview spot is right now in his hands. He's got a nice 3.4 second gap over Daniel Higgins. Bobby Blair has worked his way up to P5. Terry Millam still sits P6. And then the next closest battle, it's going to be there between TJ Zachary, TJ Zachary and Josh Murphy. Whoa, TJ's going to get way tight out of there. He's going to hang on to it though. Almost contact between him and Josh Murphy. Here comes Michael Ritz. Michael Ritz going to dive it down the inside. Will he clear him going into one? It's going to be a feet and a half if he's able to. And that number 27 bright red machine. Hang on to it here. We'll hop it on board here with him. Is he going to be able to clear? No, it's TJ Zachary right up and around the right side. Now TJ Zachary slams the door shut, takes away all the air that number 27 had to offer. You can feel that in the truck. It may not look like much up there within the broadcasting world, but you continue to feel that as these tires continue to wear themselves and more laps continue to be turned on them there. Appreciate it. Every single one of you down there in YouTube land. Could not be done without you. Could not be done without these racers continuing to put on a show. My God, who's going to get it done here tonight? I know it says stage 2, but that is within the final laps of the race up there in the top left of the screen. So there's only 28 more laps to go. We should still be seeing at least one more fuel stop for all of our trucks. If you've pulled the right strategy, you should still have one. I don't think anybody's going to have 2 tire sets because you'd be severely off the pace right now. But you're going to have to really start to do some math out here behind the wheel. Golly, you might want to be starting to think about pitting soon because Josh Murphy, Michael Ritz, they've been going at it back here between the last 10 laps. And speak of it there, Tim Blankenbeckler actually makes his way down and into pit lane. So remember, he did stay out. He was about 7 laps older on Goodyear tires as well as fuel strategy wins. So we should be seeing these next drivers out here in probably about 5 to 6 more laps time make their way down into pit lane. Michael Ritz is still the man on the mission, trying to get down into the inside of Josh Murphy. He's this time down there, but got to be careful about clearing him on the exits. You see him getting way loose. That rear end of that number 27 start to shake around out there. Oh man, you never want to see a rear end shake, especially in one of these Stamm Studio Network trucks, but you got to be careful with it, especially on these older tires, as the next thing you know, you might be looping it right down out and around. Back out here to the race lead, Widener, Milfelt, Case, still separated 0.2 of a second each. 26 laps to go. Bobby Blair, he's starting to get a little bit closer up to this battle, worked his way up to P4. Hopping on board here with Jensen Case, and let's try to see if we can dissect a little bit more of this dirty air talk I was talking about here before. You see flames fly out of that exhaust pipe of Mike Milfelt's white Toyota Tundra up in front of him. That lets you know as a fan, he got off of that gas extremely, he lifted hard as he could, and that's the burnt excess fuel out there making its way outside of the exhaust pipe. So you see that as a driver, you hear that as a driver, not only up there behind and your wheel, but as well as you see that if you're Jensen Case trying to reel up within Mike Milfelt, you can maybe adjust your corner entry, you can adjust your corner exit, as well as those throttle inputs as these tires do continue to wear. It's Jensen Case. He's making an earlier pit stop here, as well as Charlie Widener. They're both down into the pit lane. Both very nice job at getting down into pit speed at, what were we running, 194 miles an hour all the way down and into, 55 miles an hour in this pit speed, I think. No, it's 50. God, nice work there for Charlie. Nice work for Jensen. Right now, the hard work is not done here just yet, Charlie. He's going to have to make his stop right on that pit stein, and so is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's 7 different drivers that are now making their stop as well. I didn't see anybody slide through their pit box, as looks like it'll be a 4-tire pit stop. Will anybody try to gamble with a 2-tire pit stop? I don't think so. Charlie Widener wins the race off pit lane. There's Jensen Case. There's Daniel Higgins. Are we missing somebody from that battle? Michael Ritz, Ricardo Keno. There's Neil Lapidus, Terry Mellum, Tyler Price. All looks A-OK up there with only 22 more laps to go in the race. I know it says stage 2, but I'm trying to get that actually fixed. It's TJ Zachary out here, who is up here cycles out to the race lead. But now, yeah, I was about to say, should be seeing TJ Zachary come down in pits at least within the next couple of laps. Here comes Charlie Widener, Jensen Case, you saw on the outside of that camera shot, already making their way back out and around the TJ Zachary. So our race leaders have now unlapped themselves, as well as pretty much the whole rest of the pack up until, I believe, 10th position right now. Michael Ritz making his way off of pit lane. So it's still up right now here between a battle of at least 2 drivers. Not sure what happened to the other front runner. I'm still looking up there in timing and scoring land. Charlie Widener, Jensen Case. Yeah, then there's Mike Milfelt. So, okay, there's Mike. That scared me for a second. He's still sitting up here in this battle up right now for P2 and 3. Final driver interview spots. It's on right now the losing driver of this battle, who is up there able to. You might want to be careful using up those right side tires this early on a run. We still have 21 laps to go. That might even be a whole fuel stint, but unless you're able to save enough fuel, and which I do believe most of these drivers did, most of these drivers probably had that magic number that they were trying to hit. Now that Mike Milfeldt has cleared Jensen Case, but Jensen back into P3, could Jensen Case probably maybe try to play the long strategy right now, just not over push that number 75 Chevy Silverado and trying to catch these two front Toyota Tundras. But it's easier said than done. You're trying not to lose that kind of, I know I talk all about bad about the air, but the draft definitely does still help you on kind of the back straightaway as well as this kind of front dogleg, if you'd even call it dogleg portion of Chicagoland Speedway. It's so much. It's the yins and yangs of NASCAR mile-and-a-half racing. I've said it here before, and I'm going to say it again. It's hard to beat some Midwest Elite Racing action here on these Stamm Studio Network trucks, and you're going to continue to see these drivers separated by just under 0.2 of a second. Charlie Widener, Mike Milfeldt, Jensen Case. Then there's Daniel Higgins, Bobby Blair, Tim Blankenbeckler. Daniel Higgins and Bobby Blair are now separated by just 0.2 of a second. It's been fun to see Daniel rocket his way and slice his way throughout the timing and scoring standings after starting P14 tonight. That HendrickCars.com machine out of Tampa, Florida. He might be flirting with a final driver interview position if he's able to gain 4 seconds on Jensen Case. That front 3-pack running away with it. Michael Ritz is also trying to reel in Ricardo Cano, and that is for P8 and 9. Also, God dang it, Neil Lapidus, Terry Mellon, TJ Zachary, and Stoney Winfield still going at it. 5 trucks for 5th place on back. Back up here to the race lead. 17 laps to go. Who is playing the long run? Who is playing the short run? And who is playing the I gotta go right here and right now? Hopping on board with Mike Milfeldt. He is getting a little bit closer to that rear bumper of Charlie Widener. But with Charlie Widener having so much clean air off the front of his nose, right now Charlie is the man to beat. After he's getting a little bit loosey-goosey out of the exit of turn number 4, that's gonna allow Mike Milfeldt to close that gap. Does Mike do anything with this run going into turn 1? No, gets off of that throttle pedal. He is going to allow Jensen Case to get even closer to his rear bumper. Now, 0.1 of a second separate P1, P2. 0.2 of a second separate P2 and P3. Here comes Mike Milfeldt with another run, not opting to do anything with it. Jensen Case is doing just what I said earlier, at least on the corner entrance. He's getting at least 1 truck light out there within clean air. What I mean by that, he's offsetting himself within the entrance of the corner, allowing him to get that front downforce right there, even running within that dirtier air of the front 2 drivers out there and up in front of him. Bobby Blair, Daniel Higgins, they have now settled that battle down there for 4th and 5th. It looks like Bobby's able to take away that position. There. We'll have to jump back here up to the battle up the front because it's getting really... Right now, it is the nitty-gritty here in the race. You're going to start to see elbows fly, but ethical racing throughout this Midwest Elite Racing pack. We've seen it throughout the first 4 to 5 races of this season. You're going to start to, you're going to continue to see that racing action happen here between, especially this front 3-pack. Charlie Widener, is this maybe? I don't have him up there in my notes, so I think this may be one of his first races with us here this season. And could this be an opening statement if he's able to find victory lane in one of his opening races here with us? Driver 2,500 I rating, leading 2,800 oval I rating, and then Jensen Case with 1,300. 0.2 back is Mike Milfeldt. Only 13 laps to go. That's the visual gaps right there. That is 4.5 seconds on the racetrack separating Jensen Case and Bobby Blair, P3 and P4. There's about kind of 2-car gaggles out now up throughout the rest of the track, all the way and up through P10, and then P11, 12, 13, 14, about separated by 1 to 2 seconds each there. We'll stick up here out with the battle for the race lead and race win out of this Boss Baby Cal 120. Let me know who you think gets it done out there tonight in YouTube land. Hopping out the board to the back, a bumper of Charlie Widener. We're going to see if Mike Milfeldt's able to close that gap here into 3 and 4, or if it stays about the same. But you see Mike Milfeldt really go to the bottom of the track there. He's going to keep that gap about the same. Jensen Case does the same laps and keeps that gap about the same as well. Listening into the throttle pedal here worked as well. We'll go on board here with Jensen. Got to compare and contrast out there into the entrance of 3. Definitely a little bit more hesitant to get on that throttle pedal, and I do have to correct myself earlier. I said 195. That's the fastest point that we have reached here tonight, but it's only about 170 that these trucks have to knock all that speed off of going into pit lane. I think pit lane is all said and done with here tonight as we continue to watch this battle between our front 3. It's not only heating up, it's not only broiling, but it's boiling over the pot right now. Charlie Widener still doing some, I don't know how he's able to hold off the hard-charging Mike Milfelt as well as Jensen Case. That clean air is definitely going to continue to help, but right now it's all he has. That little bit more life within that right front and right rear Goodyear Racing Eagle. Remember what I said for earlier, Jensen Case in his Alp number 75. He has continued just to play that longer run out here throughout the first half of the race, first 3/4 of this race for Jensen Case. Is he saving there just a little bit left in the virtual fuel tank, well, the fuel tank, the tires, as well as his mental tank out here. With only 9 laps to go, it's going to be way easier said than done to make a pass happen, especially if we're talking out air to the race lead. If Mike Milfelt's able to keep working over that rear bumper of Charlie Widener and keep Charlie looking up in his rear view mirror, as well as try to continue to slide those right side tires, as if Mike is able to get Charlie able to continue to do that, it could still be anybody's ball game out here in this Boss Baby Cal 120. This Midwest Elite Racing Stamm Studio Network Truck Series. Jensen Case, you can see he unfortunately is starting to struggle a little bit for grip. Charlie Widener is really found some grip out here, really not allowed Mike Milfelt to make any sort of passes happen. Gaps stay about the same. He's going to try to work that outside line going into turns 1 and 2. He slots his way and slides his way all across those seams. I mentioned you have to be so careful with that earlier on in the race. Not what these tires are going to be happy with. Tires are screaming at all these drivers at this point in the race. It is so close right now between 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. A caution right now is still not out of the running. Here's a look at this battle. 3 wide going into turn 3, as well as 0.2 of a second separating the battle for it out and up front. TJ Zachary, Tim Blankenbeckler, Stoney Benfield, Zach Monday. They're all keeping it off of each other's quarter panels, at least for the time being. Backing out up front, Charlie Widener still continues to lead going into turn 3. I don't think there's any lap traffic up here and out approaching this pack. Charlie, he's cutting up down the inside line, cuts off all the clean air to Mike Milfelt. Mike has a run and a half. Mike, he's giving the tappy. Might he look down into the inside? No. Contact between the two, but nobody spins. It's just a little nudge to let Charlie know Mike is there. Mike is a knocking. Charlie saying, don't bother knocking. I don't want you to come on in either. Well, excuse me, I thought it was about to be side by side. It was about to be as Jensen Case is looking up into the racetrack. 5 more laps to go from Chicagoland to the Boss Baby Cal 120. This battle for the race lead, it is almost as close as we have seen it all race. These drivers right now begging for all sorts of grip. Their tires are gone. Their mental fuel state is out of the window right now. It's within 4 laps to go. Who's going to get this done? Jensen Casey still lurking in the distance. Now 1/10 of a second separates Widener and Milfelt. Here comes Milfelt looking down the hill and into turns 3 and 4. He's not going to make it happen. He's going to have to pin that throttle pedal, keep that speed, keep that momentum. He's going to have to reset right now and try and get another run happening. This is going to be fun to watch. These last 3 laps go 7.5 miles. Jensen Case has worked himself way up the racetrack. Here's that 3-way battle that set itself back down to 2. They're back after that grind across the stripe. We'll have to just wait until replays back there between Stoney Benfield and Michael Ritz. Final 3 times. We're keeping it up here out up front. Mike Milfelt is trying everything he can. He's trying to keep that inside line rocking, rolling, but nothing's able to work. He's going to try maybe the outside line this time, as he does have another run brewing in his 155 Federated Auto Parts Toyota Tundra. 2 Toyota Tundras lead a Chevrolet Silverado, leading another Tundra, and then it's 2 more Chevys, 2 more laps to go. Charlie Widener, he's done an immaculate job here thus far to hold him off. Mike Milfeld, he always starts to stalk and creep into turns 3 and out of the exit of turn number 4. Here we go, we're coming towards the white flag lap, this time by Mike Milfeld gets Charlie Widener loose out of the exit of turn number 4. 1 lap to go in the Boss Baby Cal 120, the Stamm Studio Network Truck Series. Here comes Mike Milfeld. He's doing everything he can to keep it as close as he can to that rear bumper of Charlie Widener. Here comes the last run that he has out of turn number 2. Is he able to cycle something out right now and keep that speed, keep that momentum, rocking, rolling? Here we go into turn 3 and 4 for the final time tonight. Mike Milfeld's looking down into the inside. It's going to be a photo finish here at Chicagoland. Charlie Widener up top, Michael Milfeld on the bottom. Who gets it done? They're going to give it to Charlie Widener at the line. What a race, what a finish. Mike Milfeld, he'll finish P2. Jensen Case will finish P3. Here's a 1/10 of a second separating Michael Ritz, Stoney Benfield at the line. Who gets it done? Michael... No, that's another photo finish. Back and in between P8 and 9, 1,000th at the line between Michael Ritz and Stoney Benfield. What a race, what a finish. Congratulations, Charlie Widener coming away with the race win. Have you ever? Stamm Studio Network broadcasting history, I don't think I have ever. Charlie Widener is our Boss Baby Cal 120 unofficial race winner. Mike Milfeld at the line by 5,000ths of a second. Stick with us here on Stamm Studio Network. We're going to get you some unofficial, official race results, as well as top 3 driver interviews. Charlie Widener, go ahead and burn this puppy down, down, down at Thurmond, North Carolina. Congratulations, Charlie. Well-deserved win. And we're going to have to take 2,000-3,000 looks at that last lap. I mean, not even last lap. The whole last, 20, 30, 40 laps to hold him off. But here we go. Last lap going in. We'll just take a look at, this whole lap. Yeah, let me say one more time. Final lap of the race, white flag lap. Oh man, Mike Milfeld, he was so close. 5,000ths at the line. Could not have been closer if you tried to script it up. Look at this run and a half that Mike Milfeld has coming out of turn number 2. He's gonna dive it so deep. I think as deep as I've seen anybody dive it on cold tires into turns 3 and 4. Final lap of the race. Here we go, coming to the line. Who's it gonna be? Photo finish. Charlie Widener starts to come down, starts to maybe get that side draft, but no, they keep it off between the 2. Charlie up and on that outside line is able to hold off the hard-charging Mike Milfeld. 15 positions gained in the number 155. Jensen Case, 12 positions gained. He'll finish it out P3. Stick with us, everybody. Sean Stamm, Stamm Studio Network. That's another one in the books. Here's our unofficial, official race results here tonight. Congratulations, Charlie Widener, Mike Milfeld, Jensen Case, Bobby Blair, Daniel Higgins, Josh Murphy. It's Ricardo Cano, finished it out P7, TJ Zachary P8, Michael Ritz, Stoney Benfield. That makes the top 10. Zach Monday, Neil Lapidus, Frank Ranger Jr., Tyler Price, Craig Schmidt, Sean Abel, Terry Millam, Tim Blankenbeckler. That's the top 18. Heath Smith and James Klaus. That is 19th and 20th. All right, that's the unofficial official race results here. Stick with us. I'm going to mosey my way down and over to driver interview room. Hey, Charlie, this is Sean Stamm up in the booth. You got yourself a copy, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Charlie, congratulations, man. 5,000ths at the line. What was going through your minds right then and there? Shoot, what's going through your minds right now, man?
Yeah, clean air was king, so I was just trying when we were in the corners, I'm trying to keep Mike and Jensen kind of in my draft in the corner, try to get them to push a little bit. But the draft was helping those guys stay with me. Plus, I know Mike's better at saving his right front than I am, so I knew it was gonna be a struggle on the last lap to keep him behind me, and he almost got me.
Man, almost, Charlie. Golly, I'm sweating just watching you. I'm sure you're sweating up a storm out there. Charlie, how do you hold off, I mean, a hard-charging driver like that, lap after lap after lap, and not only to say that, I mean, like you mentioned, Mike had a very good shot there on that last lap. How do you keep your head down and keep hitting your marks?
You just try not to. It's kind of hard when you're trying to block their air, but you try to keep your eyes out the windshield and away from the mirror until you really need to. Just trying to hit my marks and not overdrive entry and burn the right front up. But then when that white truck got bigger in my mirror, I had to start paying attention to what he was doing and take air from him and stuff. And I think it was next to last lap, got real loose right in front of him. Air played a big part on those last few laps there.
Yeah, well said there, Charlie. Appreciate breaking it down there for us. Real quick, who are you shouting out to? You dedicating this race win to tonight, this Boss Baby Cal 120?
Hey man, I got the best teammates. Mike, thanks for not passing me. I got Heath. His internet kind of let him down today. Heath Smith.
Oh no.
And Scott Patton couldn't make it today, but shouting out them guys. Scott Patton did all of our paints with patented paints, so we appreciate that. Appreciate everyone who puts this league on, and you guys do a really good broadcast, and I love watching it. And I can't wait to go back and rewatch this.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Charlie. And shout out there, Scott Patton on the paints. I made sure to hit the Control R there, and I'm kind of seeing just an orange and gray one out there. But I know we'll definitely be chatting with you up here in another top three, and I'm sure that we'll have the paint situation figured out there. So I guess a brief apologies, but also nice congratulations on the win as well, man.
Thank you.
Charlie, have a great rest of your night. With that being said, we're going to slow it down now to P2. Mike Milfeld, the teammate of the man, the myth, the legend up there, Charlie. Mike, you got yourself a copy?
I sure do.
Mike, man, welcome up here in the virtual broadcast booth. P2 here tonight, biggest mover gain, 15, count them. 1, 2, 3, I'm not going to count, but 15 spots gained, Mike. Man, excellent race out here at Chicagoland. What'd you think of the track, man? It's one of my favorites. You like it? You hate it?
I really like Chicagoland. It's one of the racier tracks that you can get to race on, and it was pretty racy tonight. Jensen and Charlie, man, they were on fire tonight.
Man, Mike, you were also on some rails out there. Best lap at 30.96, so I think that's second to fastest lap of the race. Man, you kept I think that long run speed up there as well. 2,800 oval I rating. Mike, how did you find it up there, P2 here tonight, as well as is there anybody you'd like to kind of shout out here for this podium finish?
Yeah, thanks to my teammates, Charlie, Heath, Scott. Thanks to all the guys that raced tonight. It was great racing all throughout the field. It was a really good race, nice, clean. Jensen was having me worried there right behind me. We were all running the same speed. It was just so hard to pass on the inside. And as long as you guarded that outside, you were pretty much guaranteed to hold that spot. So it was just tough, but fun.
Well, we appreciate it, Mike. God dang, I had one more thing to ask you. It just completely slipped my mind. Yeah, that's what it was. How do you kind of prepare going out there into next week for the Stamm Studio Network Truck Series? How much practice did you put into the Chicagoland coming into it?
Oh, I don't practice. We run like 4 or 5 leagues during the week.
Oh my God! Oh, well, shoot, there you go. That's you'll gain all the knowledge you need there. Well, Mike, we appreciate that was fun kind of hearing your shout-outs and fun kind of hearing a little bit more about the leagues that you're running out there as well. Golly, that's a lot within the week. Hopefully, we're chatting up here with you in another Top 3 driver interview. Have a great rest of your night, Mike.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, of course, thank you. And I think it's going to leave, I believe it's one more driver interview. Hang on. It's Jensen Case. Sorry, my freaking cat got on my headset. Jensen, you got yourself a copy, man.
Yeah, dude, that's weird, man. That cat's always hanging around, it seems like.
And that's what I'm saying, man. Taking up my mic and everything. Jensen, Elizabethtown, you'll bring it home P3 for the second P3 in a row. Man, Jensen, how'd you get that top podium position done? Also 12 spots gained on the race.
Yeah, I didn't qualify the best, but that's all right. So I started at P15, I think, but was able to just stay out of some trouble and got a good start after the stage break. Was able to start towards the front and yeah, just kind of stayed up there with Charlie and Mike. They ran a great race. We kind of just played a little follow the lead there at the end. Like they both said, it was kind of hard to pass on the inside or really at all. But yeah, I was just happy to work my way back up to the front and run a pretty good race there.
How did that caution before the stage break come out? Really, did that affect your strategy on the one that you were trying to run?
I always think about, I always try to have a strategy in mind, but when at the end of the day with cautions, it's everything kind of just can be thrown out the door with one quick caution. So I kind of just pre-ball it in a way. So yeah, it worked out. It came right before the stage break, so it kind of was the stage break in a way. And was able to, I think the last stage ran green then, so that was pretty much self-explanatory. Just pit halfway through, and then yeah, pretty much all good from there.
Well, congrats on another top 3 finish here, Jensen. Who you shouting out to? You dedicating this podium finish to tonight?
My boy Mendez, my teammate, he was not able to make it tonight, but he is off probation, did not get suspended from the league, so that's big W's in the chat for him. But yeah, we'll be excited to have him at Lime Rock next, I believe. I think we got a week off here, and then got Lime Rock.
Oh, that'll be a fun one. Jensen, appreciate your time and effort out there on the track, as well as appreciate your time with a quick little driver interview. Have a great rest of your night, and hopefully we're chatting with you in next top 3 driver interview booth.
Yes, sir, Sean. Have a great night.
Hey, you do the same, Jensen. Appreciate you, man. Alrighty, ladies and gents, that's going to do it here for me. But before I go, we got to take another quick look down there in YouTube land, make sure I didn't miss anything. Terry Ricardo, Ricardo saying congratulations to the podium. He also says, Power, if you do not take care of the tires from the back, they're unstable. Very well said there, Ricardo. Thank you, Terry. Laura, Leanne joined us down there in YouTube land as well. Am I missing anybody? I think that'll do it for as far as YouTube land goes. So from the bottom of my heart, I know you hear me say it probably week in and week out, but I seriously mean it. That's why I say it. Thank you all so much. You are all kind of why I do this back here behind the scenes. Would not be doing it without you down there in YouTube land, as well as the sponsors and affiliates and YouTube members out there that have been scrolling across the bottom. Thanks, everybody. This has been Sean Stamm, the Stamm Studio Network boss, baby, Cal 120. Thank you again for Terry Mellum, Laura, sponsoring out this race. Callum, first grandson, happy early birthday to you, man. Happy first early birthday. Can't wait till you guys here on track, ripping it and passing us all. Thank you all so much. I'll catch you next time. What's the next broadcast? Golly. I think it's going to be... might be Wednesday night, a little special event for Fresno SCCA. All right, Sean Stamm, Stamm Studio Network. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.